Hey guys, this is Lisa, the purple haired mom, and welcome back to our live stream. Today is going to be another one of those days where I kind of touch back on a subject that I've touched on during my podcast, but I know a lot of people, they don't have access to podcasts, or they're not really big on podcasts. So after the intro, we'll dive right on into the subject matter today. Hey guys, thanks for waiting through the intro. And once again, welcome back to the live stream. Now, I know some people are going to be watching this on the replay, and just so that you know, like I said, with YouTube, usually the live streams, they play immediately, but the replay usually doesn't post until the next day. So a lot of times you'll have the replay not show up until the next day. So in case you guys are watching the replay, hello. Please, on the replay, please feel free to still comment. I will look at all the comments, and any comments that are there and any questions, I am always ready to answer. So let's dive into today's subject matter, shall we? If you saw the thumbnail for this, just so you guys know before I even do this, check it out. I just redid my hair. I think the purple's kind of like really catching today. No makeup today, so looking a little plain Jane today, but that's okay. So today like I said, this was one of the podcasts that I actually did. It was like the second one I did on the second season of the Purple Haired Mom podcast. And it had to do with some of the pet peeves that I have regarding dating today. Since Thursday is our Thirsty Thursday topics of the day, I figured this would be a good one, especially because I've kind of been dealing with this a lot. I know a lot of ladies and gentlemen are dealing with this a lot, and it's really just time for it to just stop. Seriously, it's not cute. Nobody likes it. Just stop. So ghosting is one of the big ones. Ghosting and getting stood up, and the famous one, unsolicited pics that really aren't the greatest pictures, or, in that area. So like I said, I'm not somebody who is the quintessential queen of dating in any way, shape, or form. I'm actually a lot of the things that, is not really wanted when it comes to dating. I'm a single mom over 40. I'm not a size 6, and I can't have more kids. So that kind of puts a lot of X's in my category. But the thing is like, I'm not perfect. I've never claimed to be perfect, and I've gone through the same shit since high school. So in high school, I was awkward. Okay. So, and a lot of us, let's face it, a lot of us had that high school. It was kind of like those teen movies. There was that awkward person, and, except we didn't have anybody to try to change us or give us a makeover to make us amazing, right? So, I wasn't huge, but I wasn't thin. So I was really just kind of there. And, I would get a crush. They would fall for my friend. And, in the 90s version of ghosting, okay, the 90s version of ghosting was a guy giving you a phone number and then instantly regretting it. Okay, so you'd go out to the club. I remember there was a club called, it was called Bourbon Street, and then it changed its name to Metropolis. Okay, so that was like our big club. But when it was Bourbon Street, they had nights that were like 18 and over night. So otherwise you had to be 21, but on these two nights you could be 18. So when I was a senior, I was able to go on the senior, on the 18 and over night, and my friend and I would go. So when I say that they would give you a phone number, so you'd be like, jam in, whatever, and you'd see a hot guy, you'd get their number, because that we didn't have our trusty phones or anything then. It was kind of house phone city. So I know kids are probably like, oh my God, how did you all survive? Oh, we did. It was fine. But you'd get the phone number and they wouldn't answer, or they would tell friends or family to say that they weren't there. They're not home. They would screen the call. You would screen the call, because most of us had caller ID, but it was, you didn't really have, it would show you the number. If your number was listed, it would show the name that the phone was under. But obviously, if you were still living with your parents, it would have your parents' name. So a lot of people would like screen their calls. They would have like mom or dad or brother or sister answer, and then they'd be like, oh, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? And, be like, oh, it's so-and-so. And that, no, I'm not here. I'm not here. And after a few times, you just kind of gave up. So that was kind of like the 90s version of ghosting. Now it's so much easier. Okay. It's so much easier to be a dick. So, or bitch, whichever one, because both do it. They both do it. So nowadays, when you're ghosting somebody, you find somebody on a dating app and you kind of, you get to know them. You like I've said, a lot of guys are very visual when it comes to dating profiles. So where women will look through each profile and literally look at every little thing on the profile, guys are literally going swipe left, swipe left, swipe left, or what is it? Swipe right, swipe right. They're like, they're going based on the look. So it's, oh, 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 oh. And then they come back. Okay. So because we get notifications when somebody has liked our profile or somebody has, they've liked us or whatever. So we as women will go through and look. And then if we, like what we see or like what we read, we will click that we want to, we want to talk, or the next step. So at that point is when guys are usually really looking at the profile. So they'll look and see if they've got kids, or they'll look and see whether they're looking for dating, hookups, whatever. And at that point is when they make their decisions. Some guys, they're not really sure, so they'll talk a little bit, and maybe the person's, their personalities kind of, got them interested. And then a lot of times they'll like trade profiles or whatever, especially like on Facebook dating, because it's really easy to just kind of trade profiles for Facebook or whatever. And then they see something either they don't like, or they see something that's kind of like, ugh, but they've already invested some time in this. So what they'll do is they'll just disappear. So you won't be able to message them. If you guys have traded phone numbers and you're getting left on red, you're not getting any messages on Facebook. Like if you were messaging on Messenger, they just literally disappear. They vanish. Okay. So hence the word ghosting. So they'll do that. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all to get ghosted, especially when it happens a lot, because it starts to make you wonder like, okay, well, obviously something drew them to your profile in order to, even start a conversation. So you start to wonder, what was it that made them, decide the opposite way at that point, and decide that it wasn't even, that you weren't even worth telling, hey, I saw that blah, 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 like, or, I saw that you do this and that's not really up my alley or whatever it is. So they just don't say anything and they just disappear. Sometimes they like to disappear and pop back in, and there's usually an excuse as to why they disappeared the first time. Oh, well, I'm a recluse. I was going through something. And a lot of times, sometimes I've done it. I'll give them another chance. Okay, so you were going through something. Okay, so what's going on? And all of a sudden, they're gone again, not answering. And it's like, okay, this is just really obnoxious at this point. Either you want to get to know me and you like me, or you don't. There is no ifs, ands, buts. There is no middle ground here. So either make the decision that we're going to talk, or out, goodbye, erase the number, block the number, whatever needs to happen. Because this bouncing in and out, that tells you right there that they have no clue what they want, or they're one of those people that just really, they're bouncing in and out because they're trying to see how many, they've got girls over here, they've got girls over here, whatever it is. Now, the other thing that I can't stand, one of my other pet peeves, is being stood up. I've actually posted on this numerous times in Facebook, on Instagram, because it's literally it's one of the most disrespectful things that you can do, because that's a whole different section of commitment at that point. Now, I don't even really want to say commitment. It's a whole different section of, you've made the next step at that point. So you've talked online, you've exchanged numbers. Now, you've talked, you've exchanged profiles. They know a lot about you. You've talked, okay? And now you're making, you're making up a time and a place to go meet, or, whatever, however you're going to do it in COVID times. But, still people, they'll meet, try to do it as safely as possible, but you'll make up a time to go meet, right? So you make a time to go meet, you're like, okay, you confirm everything, you show up, you're waiting, maybe they're late, but they're not there. So you send a message, hey, I'm here, this is what I'm wearing, this is where I am, this is what's going on. So you've told them where you are, you've told them what's going on, and you don't hear anything. There's no message coming through. You get left on delivered, or you get left on read. You wait there maybe 30 minutes. It depends on who you are. Some people like to give an hour, whatever, but you're left waiting there. And no call, no show, kind of like, just kind of left up in the dark. And you're left wondering what's going on. Why would somebody do all of this just to not show up? You hope that it's nothing bad, like they got into an accident, and that's usually the first place that your mind goes is, oh my God, something happened. So, you're texting, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? And if you're not hearing anything, that's kind of a panic thing, right? That kind of sets in, because that's the first place that we go, because we don't want to think that somebody's going to be purposely disrespectful as to make a time and place to meet, and then just decide that you're not even worth a phone call to say, hey, something's come up, or I've changed my mind, whatever it is. You don't want to think that badly of somebody. So you immediately switch to the panic method. So, sometimes you get an explanation. Oh, well, this happened. Oh, well, my car broke down and my phone wasn't charged, and yada, 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 yada. Or, what I've actually gotten a message a couple days after, like, oh, hey, what's up? Acting like they didn't even do anything. Like nothing happened at all. Like this, you never got stood up. That's obnoxious, because not only are they disrespecting you in the fact that they stood you up, but they're disrespecting you in the fact that they're not even acknowledging that they did something really hurtful, and they're not even acknowledging the fact that they pulled a dick move. And it just needs to stop. Just be honest. You know what I mean? If you honestly have, you took a second look, you took, whatever, and you're just like, this person's not really my cup of tea. This person, maybe this person would be better as a friend. Maybe I'm not in a good state of mind to be trying to date, whatever it is. At least have the decency to say something to somebody, because it's like I said, it's just downright disrespectful to make a time and place to meet up with somebody and then just completely ditch them with no explanation. That's pet peeve number 2. And it's pet peeve number 2, but it's like number 1 on my pet peeves, because at least with ghosting, you're not really that invested. Usually it's, they thought you looked one way. They look at a profile picture or a picture on your Facebook or your Instagram, and they're like, oh, that's not what I thought they looked like, or they get catfished or whatever, and they disappear. You're not that invested. But at the point where you're getting stood up, you're actually somewhat invested. You have made the time and taken time out of your schedule. Your time is precious. Your time is very valuable. You've taken time out of your day to try to get to know somebody and spend time with them. And they couldn't even give you an ounce of respect to say, hey, something's come up, right? Happens to me way too often. And again, you're left wondering, well, was it something that I did? Was it something that I did? Was it something that I said? Especially if there's no real explanation as to what happened, and you're just kind of left up in the air. Now, the third of my 3 biggest pet peeves, I have a lot of pet peeves, but I'm only going to do 3 today. The rest of them, they're really nitpicky and honestly just me, but these 3 are ones that affect everybody and are, like I said, they're just downright disrespectful. The third thing is when you get unsolicited pics, and you know what pictures I'm talking about, or you get unsolicited messages, okay? I talk to network marketers all the time about not cold messaging people about their products and all this kind of stuff, but this is like a whole different level. This is like just ignorant. So you're on a, say you're on a profile or whatever, you're on a dating app, whatever the dating app might be. You're obviously looking for, love or dating or whatever. And all of a sudden you get a message in your inbox. Usually when you get a message in your inbox, it's like, oh, it's kind of like getting a text. You get all excited. So you go to your inbox and you're thinking, okay, somebody's going to be asking questions about me. Let me get prepared. And you open it, and the next thing you see is a big picture of somebody's dick, or a small picture of somebody's dick, let's be honest. And, the comment is DTF. If you do not know what DTF means, please look it up. But it's DTF, okay? Or, and the thing is on your profile, like I know in mine, I've had to change it several times to get my point across. I am not looking for hookups. I do not want couples. I do not want, I'm not, the things I'm not looking for and what I am looking for. I'm very clear about it. But still, somebody will pop in there, DTF, or my favorite, literally what happened, I had somebody, they'll start commenting something, or they'll message you something normal. And then as soon as you answer the normal question, or you have the normal conversation for 2 seconds, and all of a sudden they're wanting to know positions and this and this. And you're like, what? You don't even know who I am. Or, it's, hey, you want to see what you'll be? No, number one, I won't be. And number two, no, I really don't want to. Like that kind of stuff, I believe, is for when you are actually seeing somebody. And even then, it's kind of a toss-up, because if you break up, then you have some really volatile pictures that are out there in somebody's phone or whatever. I'm not going to send some stranger. That's the other, like when you get messages talking about, hey, send me a picture of your boobs. I don't know who you are. Send me a picture of this. I don't know who you are. That's not cute. That's not, they're like, oh, well, I'm just trying to flirt with you. I'm trying to get to know you. That's not trying to get to know me. That's you trying to get what you want by being a dirtbag. And that's not okay. And it's really frustrating when you have a dating profile and you're really trying to actually date and see somebody and be, serious about something, which I know dating apps, it's a trap a lot of the times. A lot of them are, hookup central, but we're kind of left with not a lot of options anymore, because you have to think about it that we can't really just go out to the bar. Number one, because obviously COVID, but two, because it's not really safe for us to go to the bar anymore. I don't have like a big group of girlfriends, because, most of my friends, in my age group are married. So they're not looking to go, single prowl around or whatever. And you can't really go by yourself or anything like that. I used to be comfortable going by myself, but now I can't, because you don't know who's trying to slip something in your drink, who's following you around, who's trying to see what car you're getting into to follow you. It's really, really horrible out there. So you're kind of left with no other option than using the internet. And a lot of people used to use eHarmony. eHarmony, I know a lot of people that have met on eHarmony, and a lot of people that have gotten married off of eHarmony, but that was like a while ago. Now eHarmony is a lot of dead profiles and hookup central. The ones that aren't dead profile, because they match you. Like you don't match, they will match you to people. And then you kind of choose from who they match you from. But like, I remember I had 6 months of nothing, of like all these matches. And I was like, ooh, this is awesome. Dead profile after 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 dead profile. These are people that, and if I'd message them like, oh, hey, what's up? They'd be like, I'm married now. I already found someone, or I'm in a relationship. And it's because they deactivated the profile, but eHarmony did not deactivate the profile. It just kind of left them in the loop to make it look like they had more people. And so, this is something that you're paying for. And I got nothing. I got 3 unsolicited pictures. I got one guy that was like, yeah, I know it said that I'm looking for a relationship, but really I only want to hook up because that's all I want to do. So that's what we were stuck with. And then, like I said, the rest of them were dead profiles. Everything else, you kind of have to sort through the catfishes and the scam artists and the hookup centrals to try to find anybody. And by the time you actually do find somebody, you're so tired that you're just like, oh my God. And you you try to leave a message, but they don't message you back. It's just really frustrating. So that is my pet peeves of the dating world. And I'm sure we've all dealt with all of these, if not some of these. So hopefully, maybe, hopefully, again, hopefully, we'll be able to be really, I don't know, maybe we'll find something on here, something out there, something decent. That's all we're looking for. So if you know somebody decent that, doesn't mind that a single mom over 40, not a size 6, and that can't have more kids, if you know somebody who's, slightly attractive, funny, don't want to have to carry all the humor, funny, attractive, nice, send them my way. Because obviously these dating apps are doing us no favors. So that is it. I will be back on live stream on Sunday with my Small Business Tip Sunday. I'm not sure what it's going to be at the moment, but it'll be a surprise. So, because there's so much going on in the small business world, especially because we're waiting for the jackasses over in Washington to get their heads out of their asses and come out of the meeting with some kind of good news, which I don't know what we're going to get. So other than that, I will bid you all adieu. Have a wonderful night. Sorry this was so late, but there's a lot going on today. And I know my lighting is probably really weird because I never do these at night, but that's what you get today. So I will talk to you guys later. And thanks for joining me on our broadcast tonight. And if you're on the replay, thank you for joining me on the replay. And until then, we'll see you next on The Purple Haired Mom.